This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, good morning all. So in this tutorial, we will learn like HTML blocks. So HTML blocks, so just learn the HTML blocks. HTML blocks. So HTML blocks are, there is HTML block on inline. This HTML block on inline, every HTML has default display values. So every HTML has default display values. So here, depending upon what type of element it is. So by nature, what type of element it is. By default, HTML have two types of nature. One is block level element, block level element. Another one is we have inline element. Inline element. So these two default values are available in the HTML. So there are two display values. One is block level element, another one is inline element. So coming to the block level. So block level elements. So here is a block level element, right? So for this block level element, so block level element always starts with new line. The elements who perform the block level. So these are the elements. So starts from new line and takes up full width the full width, like it take available width and it will take full width. By nature it will displace that it starts from new line. So some of the block level elements available in HTML are, so we have address tag, and we have like article. So we have an article, so we have a site tag, so we have a block code, so we have a block code, and we have canvas tag, and we have DD, description definition. So DL tag, OL tag, and UL tag, another list. So we have a pre tag, pre-formatting text. So we have a paragraph. So we have a paragraph element. So we have H1 to H6 elements, H1 to H6. These are also called block level elements. Now we have footer, like we have header, like we have header tag, and we have nav tag, we have section, and we have HR, horizontal rule, and we have list items. So like this we have form field set. So field set. So like this we having the block level elements. So these are the block level elements available in the HTML. So not only this one, we have some of this one having block level elements. So we have div tag. So we have table tag. So like this, etc. So like this we're having block level elements. So coming to the inline elements. So inline elements are in these inline elements, and inline elements does not starts with new line. So compared to the block level elements, inline elements does not starts with new line, and it always takes up so sufficient width only, and it will sufficient width means, so it takes up as much as width as it required. So the element space is the element how much of space it will take in. So it will take the sufficient width for the inline elements. So in these inline elements, so we have like a span. We have a span here, span tag, and we have acronym. We have acronym. So we have acronym, and we have B tag. B means bold tag. We have big tag. So we have strong tag. We have strong tag. All the formatting elements comes onto this inline elements. So we have BR tag, break line. So we have superscript. So we have subscript. We have a subscript, and we have script tag. We have a script tag, and we have text area. Text area will be used in the form fields. So we have a sample tag. We have a sample tag, and we have time tag, and we have var tag. We have a label tag. We have a label tag, and we have a map tag. Map is used in this navigation of maps in the images. So we use a KBD tag to highlighting the input. We can use the KBD tag. KBD tag. So we use a KBD tag, and we have input field, input, and we have image tag. So like this. They're having the input elements. So these are the input elements. Not only this one, we have similarly we have some tags in the input elements. So input elements has stack as much as sufficient width necessary. So here I will show the example for this HTML blocks on inline elements. Now open this Visual Studio. We just take the new program here. I'm just taking the new program and save it HTML blocks. So HTML block element. HTML block dot HTML. Now here we have a program. So just write this program here. So click on this center. Now we don't want this one. We just kept in the comment. Now go to this title. We can change the title here to HTML blocks. HTML blocks. Blocks and inline elements. First, I take a comment here. So here I'm taking the H1. So H1 also is a block cloud elements, right? So here I just look at this one. So here I'm taking the comments here. For this comments, we should write block level element. Block level element. So this is a block level element. So for this block level element, we take a paragraph. So I told you that the paragraph and PRE, so both are block level elements, right? So for this, I'm just writing lorem. I'm taking the dummy text. So I'm taking the 10 words here. So now we're taking the 10 words. So I'm taking the H1 also. So here, I'm writing the H1. So for this H1 also, I'm taking this lorem. I'm taking the 6 here. Now these two are block level elements. So if you run this one on the browser, so look at this one. They're having two different paragraphs and headings here. For these headings, it will always take up the full width here. Look at this one. If you want to see this one, right click on this, open this inspect here, like developer tools. So look at this one. So if you check this one, it will occupy the full width here. So like this, they occupy the full width here. Like this, the block level elements will work. So the block level elements always starts with a new line here. So no matter, we can take the side of the text. So look at this one. So here, I'm just taking here. I'm taking H2. So I'm taking the H2. For this H2, this is big heading. This is the second heading. So I'm taking a second heading. For the second heading, if you run this one on the browser, so go to this browser and refresh this. Go to the browser and just refresh this. So it will take the new line here. So it will take the new line and it will occupy the full width here. Like this, the block level elements will be work. So I just put it in the comments, I just, for your understanding, I'm just taking the H1 here. So this is a block level elements. So I'm writing block level elements. Now coming to this. Now coming to so here, so inline elements. I'm taking same H1. So here, this is the inline elements, right? So here, just you can write the inline elements, inline elements, inline elements, inline elements. So here we take the inline elements. For this inline elements, I told you that span is inline elements, and we have so much abstract. That is all formatting elements is inline elements. So I show the example here. I'm taking the span here, span. So span, I'm just writing the text here. So welcome to my page. I'm taking this welcome. So here I'm taking this welcome here, and we have the text here. So I'm taking another span element. So in this span element, we can write my page. Welcome to my page. To my page. To my page. Page. Just we can run this one on the browser. Look at this one. We run this one on the browser. See, they're having. So inline elements, they only take this much weight. This is one span element, and this is one span element. Just refresh this one. So we just increase this size here. So here, look at this one. This is a span element, and this one is a span element. So like this, they occupy the sufficient width here. So that is the difference between block level element and inline element. Inline element always takes with the necessary width, and block level elements always take with full width available. But it is also starts with new line, but inline elements doesn't have the new line here. So look at this one. What is the use of this span element here? So what is the use of this span element? So span is for user for the particular element. So if you want a particular text or particular word, you need to color up here. So look at this one. I'm taking here. So I'm taking span tag, or else if you take the H1 here. So I'm taking H1. So H1. So here is missing that. So I'm taking H1 here. So for this H1, we just write hello world. So I'm writing hello world here. So look at this one. If you run this one on the browser, so there you get hello world here. So look at this one. So here, so there you got hello world here. For this hello world, see, for this hello world, we need to give like we can change the color for H, we can change the color for W here. So is it possible to change this H color and the W color? All right. So if you want to give here inline, so look at this one. I'm just writing style tag. So style. So here I'm just giving inline style, right? So I'm taking the color. So you can give the red color. Look at this one. What happened? See, if we refresh this one, this whole heading will be taken as red color. So I don't want to like this. So I just give the color for red H color. So I just highlighted this W on H here. So for highlighting this W and H here, so we use the span element. For the particular element, we need to apply the color. So we use the span element there. So I just use the span element. I'm applying the span here. So inside of span, I'm taking the H, and I just remove this H on the hello here. I just remove this H here. Now similarly, we can take this span for this W also. So I'm taking span tag. So span element on W. So here we just give this W, and we just remove this one wall here. Now look at this one. So we need to apply the inline style for this span element. So here you just write style equal to. So like this in the HTML, how can you apply this multi-layered text, that is a multicolored text? Using the span elements, we can apply we can apply multi-colored text here. Then this style, we just write this color red. So I'm taking the color red. Next, so for this span element, so here I'm just taking style tag. So for the style tag, we use color, we use color blue here. Now you can run this one on the browser. Just you can run this one on the browser. So look at this one. They're having color here. So look at this one. So if you want to increase the size also, we can increase this one. So if you need to increase the size, so here, so if you want to add another property, you must separate it with semicolon. Next we can add the property like font size. So here font size, here I'm writing 50 pixels. Same thing we can write for this. We can write this one also. So here the same thing we can write for this pan element also. So here I'm taking this font size. The same font size I can give this 50 pixels. I'm just giving the 50 pixels here. Now you can run this one on the browser. Look at this one. So go to this browser and reload this page. So look at this one. They have increased the size for this. We can increase the size for this. Like this, we can change this multicolor text here. So here we have a challenge is that. So is it possible to change this multicolor? Is it possible to change the font size, font to family, or the color without using CSS? So without using CSS, we can change the font color, we can change the font size, we can change the font family also. So this tag is currently eliminated. It is a deprecated element from HTML5. So using this font tag, we can change the color, we can change the font family, we can change the font size also. So I will show the example for this one. So this is eliminated. Don't use this tag here. So I'm just taking H1 here. So again, I'm taking the H1. For this H1, so I'm just typing. So here I'm just typing hypertext markup language. So I'm taking hypertext markup language. Look at this one. So here I'm just giving hypertext to one color and markup to one color and language to one color here. So we're changing this color. So if you refresh this one on the browser, so go to this browser and refresh this one. Look at this one. So go down here. So they're having this hypertext markup language. For this hypertext markup language, so without using CSS, we can change this font type, font size, and color. So here I'm writing the font tag. I'm taking the font tag. So font tag here. Now just writing the font tag. Just cut this font tag and paste it here. See, I'm just taking one more font here. So here I'm just cut this one. I just cut this one and paste it here. Now I'm taking one more font here. Font. So here I just cut this one and paste it here. Now look at this one. So if you refresh this one, you look at this. If you refresh this one, nothing will change here. So we need to add like values. So here in the font, we have to add attributes. Like here, we need to change the size. Size, I need 50 pixels. So write 50 pixels. So we need to change this font family. So we need to change this font family. For this font family, we have face. So face is equal to the font family. Here, I'm writing cursive. So I'm writing cursive here. Next we have color. So just write this color equal. So I'm taking red here, or else you can take orange. as we have. So I just copy this. I just copy all these attributes, copy these attributes and paste it here. We just pasted here. So here I'm just changing this face to the Homa. The Homa. The Homa. So here I need to change this color to green color. So I'm changing to this green color. Now last one we can change to blue color. So here we just copy this one and here I'm just changing to the blue color. Blue color. Now here face. So don't want to here face here. So it's enough. Now just give here font size, font size. Now we can run this one on the browser. So look at this one. Go to this browser and refresh this one. See, look at this one. If you refresh this one, so there you get, we can change this, we can change the font family, we can change this color, we can change the font size of given HTML elements without using CSS. I'm not using any styles here. Look at this one. I did not use any styles here. I'm just to use only attributes. So is it possible to change without CSS? Is it possible to change color, font size and font family? Yes, it is possible. That is a font tag. So font tag is currently eliminated from HTML5. There is no font tag here. This is a deprecated element. So like this, we're having this span and span elements, like we're having inline and block level elements. Just so like this. Next we have, so we have next chapter. So go to this next chapter, we have iframes. So we have iframes, HTML iframes. So what is meant by iframe here? So iframe. Iframes. HTML iframes. So in this tutorial, we will learn how to use this iframe to display on web page within a web page. So in order to develop nested web pages, so we use iframe. Iframe is a tag to create nested web pages. That means the web page within the web page. So we use this iframe. This iframe is pretty much as like mini web browser. So it will act like mini web browser. So within the web browser, we can place another web page. So what is the syntax for writing this iframe is? The syntax for writing iframe is, so here they followed like iframe. In that we can use a src, and in the src we can provide the URL. So URL. Iframe having the two ends, like it will the close tag also. So URL and iframe close. Iframe close here. So like this, we having the syntax for writing the iframe. In this iframe, src refers that the file path. So file path. The URL specifies in the src attribute the point that location of external object. So what is the external object we can place here? That is external files we can place inside of src. Now, for setting up the height and width for these iframes, we can also we can use the height and width for an iframes. So here the iframe has border around it. By default, it is a some by default some border is there. If you want to remove this border, using border none here. For this iframe, we can use the border none. The iframe border will be removed here. This iframe can also use as a target attribute for the hyperlink. This iframe can be named to using name attribute whenever you can act as you can create as a hyperlink for these iframes. That time we can use the name attribute in the iframes. So I will show the example for these iframes. So how do you create the iframes here? Open this Visual Studio. So take the new program here. We just take the new program and save this program as iframes. iframes.html. So look at this one. how can you save this iframe? How can you create the iframe? So I'm just creating the program here. So we don't want this one, right? You can put it in the comments. Just coming to this title, we can change this title to iframe here. We can change this iframe to, we can change the title here, iframe. Next we have, for this iframe, we need to create the iframe here. So we just create the iframe here. So click on the center. So there iframe having the SRC and the frame border is 0. If we don't want this frame border, I just remove this one. We don't want this one. We just create the iframe here. So for this iframe, so we need to give the source here, source file. How do you create the source file here? So they're having so much of so much of programs, right? So we are taking this one as so here we have a calendar.html, right? So we just provide, I just write the calendar.html, calendar.html. If you refresh this browser, just run this on the browser. So look at this one. What's happened? Yeah. So we don't have file this calendar.html, right? So we don't have this file. So here, go to this folder. This folder having some so we have, so open this folder itself. So here I'm just open the HTML. So this is our folder. This folder having, so here we have inner tables. We just run this one. Yeah. So we have inner tables, right? So for this inner tables, so here we just take the inner tables. Inner tables. Inner tables.html. Now you can run this one on the browser. So you go to this. So just refresh this one. So this one is not it's okay, it's okay, no problem. So here our program will be saved in the HTML itself. We just save this program as here I'm just save this program. So save as, so here just save to HTML. So here we just save this one and click as save. Now we just try the calendar here. So we just try the calendar. Just try the calendar. Calendar.html. So if you run this one on the browser, see if you just run this one on the browser. See, look at this one, they're having the calendar here. So they're having a calendar. So we need to increase the size of this. We need to increase the size of this iframe. So here we use this height here. So we use the height, or else we can take the style tag also. We can give the height and width using this CSS also. So here I'm just giving the 500 height and width we just give. So width we just give the 500. So look at this one. This is a iframe is a inline elements, like it will occupy like sufficient width only. If you take one more iframe, this also displays side by side. Here I'm just taking one more iframe. So I just copy this one. So look at this one. So here I'm need to change this one too. See, look at this one. So here we just created HTML blocks, right? So for this HTML blocks, go to this folder and just to copy this, rename this folder. So where is our program HTML blocks? So this is here, right? So go to the style, we can cut this one. We can cut this here and go to HTML, we can paste it here. So just paste it here. Now here, I just rename this one and we can copy this name here. We just copy this one and here we just give this as, look at this, HTML blocks.html. Now we can run this one on the browser. Go to this browser and refresh this one. So they're having the two blocks here. See, this is a web page. So this is a web page. In this web page, they're having the two web pages here. So one is calendar and one is HTML blocks. So like this, we can create the iframes here. So look at this one. We just create the iframes here. So like this, in order to create a nested web pages, we use iframes here. So for these iframes, so we can remove this border. So if you want to remove this border, so here we just write the style tag. So here I'm just writing the style tag. So we use the style Inside of style, we can write the border none. So border none here. So if you write the border none, and just refresh this one. See, look at this one. The border is gone for this. So border is removed here. So like this, we can remove the border for iframes. So here, look at this one. So for this, we can use target attribute. If in order to access the hyperlinks, we can use the target attribute. So how can you use this target attribute? So first we need to create hyperlink here. So here for this iframe, we just created a hyperlink. So I'm taking the anchor tag itself. So here we just provide the dummy text here. So this is the dummy text. So I'm taking dummy text. So here, click on this dummy text. It will be open in the iframe here. So for iframe, so first we need to give the link here. First we need to generate the link here. So for generating the links, we can go for this dummy text here. So just clicking this dummy text, click on this dummy text. Now just open this dummy text link here. So we have dummy text, right? We just copy this dummy text link and paste it inside of this one. And we can paste it inside of this href here. We just pasted this one. Now here we just run this one on the browser. You look at this one. I just close this one. We don't want this one. So we just close this one also. Look at this one. Just you can refresh this one. So there you have this dummy text here. If you click on this one, so it will go to this dummy text here. Not like this. If you click on this dummy text, it will be open in the iframe itself. So if you want to open this iframes, so here we use this target here. So target. So we use the target here. Before using this target, we need to give name for this iframe. So here we just use the name for the iframe. So here I'm using the name equal to iframe /a. So you can use any of this name. So I'm just using this name as. So here just use this iframe. So you can use any of this name, not a problem. I just copy this name here. I just copy this name and paste it here. We just paste it inside of this target. So we just pasted this one. Now we can run this one on the browser. So go to this browser and refresh this one. We just refresh this one and click on this dummy text here. So if you click on this dummy text, look at this one. The text will be opened here. Look at this one. The text, that is the browser will be open inside of iframes. So like this, we can access these iframes. That is the use of this iframes here. That is the use of these iframes. Now, so we can go. So we can go to this previous chapter. Like I told you that the block level elements, right? So for this block level elements, here we need to discuss about div elements. So div element, div. So what is the div here? So mostly the web browsers will be developed at the div itself. So we use the div tag to develop the web pages. So div means division. It is a box-like container. So it acts as a box container. There is no meaning for the div. It is a non-semantic element. That is a meaningless elements for this div. What is the use of this div means? It will gather the group of all elements. So we can place all elements inside of this div only. The div is commonly used for IDs, styles, classes. These are the common attributes we can use in the divs itself. So that is the use of div here. So div is to generate the box type container. How can you create the div elements in the HTML? So using the div tag, we can create the div elements. So look at this one. Using the div tag, we can create the div elements here. So just open this Visual Studio. We just created one more new program. We just created a new program and click on this Control S. So here we just save this program as divs.html. Divs.html. So click on this one, div.html. Now we need to create a program here. So click on this one. So there you get. You can put this comment. Next we can change this title here. You can change the title to div elements. So divs. So for this divs, so here we can take the div here, div tag. So look at this one. We can take the div tag. Just refresh this browser. So we can run this one on the browser. What happened? Div is created, but it's not displayed here. Why? Because we didn't give any height and width and any border for this div. So look at this one. If you hover on this open this developer tools, just hover on this div elements. So look at this one, the div is created like 1350 into 0 here. Now we need to give some border on height and width here. Before going to apply this border, I need to tell here. So here I'm just using, see, I'm just using the inline style. Inline style. In the style, we can use the div tag. So for this div tag, so we can use a border. So we can use a border. So here in this border, we just give 3 pixels, solid, solid red. So I'm using the solid red here, or else you can use solid blue here. So I'm using blue here. We're using solid blue here. Now for this solid blue, just run this one on the browser. See, there you get the blue border here, but we didn't give the height and width for this div. So here we get the blue border here. So control this div, we can use this height and width here. We just use this width. Width, I'm giving 500 pixels. Height, I can give 500 pixels. Now I can run this one on the browser. See, look at this one. We run this one on the browser. See, there you get the div here. So we just decrease this height here. I'm just want to give 300 pixels. So look at this one. They're having height and width here. So like this, we can apply the div elements. So look at this one. So here, so I'm write the border, right? So what is the border here? Why we can write the 3 values here? Add border is a CSS property. I just explained it. So here I'm taking this border. So border 3 pixels, solid blue color. So here, so border means a border is a shortened property. It maintains the 3 properties like. So first we can calculate a border width. So first we'll take the border width. So border width is a 3 pixels. Next, it will take border style. Border style, it will take solid here. So just remove this one, border solid here. Now we take border color. We take a border color. For this border color, there you get the blue color here. So like this, the border, these 3 properties will combinedly, take this border 3 pixel solid blue. So this is a shorthand property, maintain these 3 properties like border width, border style, border color. These properties will be included in the border itself. So like this, we can use this border. Border is a CSS. We can explain at the time of CSS classes. Don't worry. So there you get the border mean this slide. So border stands for this one, border width, border style, and border color. Like this. So we can also use the paddings and margins. We can also using padding and margins. Padding and margins. So padding is the inner space. So margin is outer space. So padding is inner space, margin is outer space. I just open this MS Paint here. So here I'm just writing MS Paint. So I'm taking the paint here. So for this paint, we just draw. So here I'm just assume that this is a web page. So here for this web page, so I'm taking blue color. So for this blue color, I'll just draw this shape here. So look at this one. This is our div. So div having the border, some pixels solid like this. For this div, so we having this outer space, right? So for this outer space, I'm just taking this red color. So this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. So this is the all 4 sets in the outer space, right? This outer space is called margin here. This outer space is called margin. So we calculate it as margins. So margins here. So here, so this is the top position, right? This is a top position, and we can call it as this is a right position. and this one is called right position, right, and this one is called bottom. So this we can call it as a bottom, and we can call it as this one left. So left we can call it as, so here. So this one we can call it as left here. So left color. So here outer space is a margin right. The combinedly we can call it as margin top. This is a margin right, margin bottom, margin left here. This margin properties will work with like clockwise direction. So it will come from the top, right, bottom, left, top right, bottom left, top right, bottom left. Like this, the margin properties will work. Not only this margins, paddings also. Padding is the inner property. Like for this padding, I'll just change this green color. Now, so here, so here, look at this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. See, for this div, we have a content here. So this is the content here. Content means we can place the text, we can place the images, whatever it is. So inside of div, we have a content, right? In the content, we have inner space, right? These spaces like top, right, bottom, left. Like this is a padding, right? Inner side is a padding. So padding also take padding is an inside space. So here the padding will take inner space like padding top, padding right, padding bottom, padding left, like this. So if you give the one value, so like if you give the, so here I'm just giving margin equal to 60 pixels. So here I'm just giving the margin equal to 60 pixels. This 60 pixels will be take that top, it will take the 60 pixels, all sides it will take the 60 pixels. So here we just give 60 pixels, and here also it will take 60 pixels, like this it will take 60 pixels. So margins are taken outside of the space, like a transparent outside space, so it's a transparent. So here 60 pixels, like this. So padding is the inner space and margin is outer space. Like this, the margins and paddings will be calculated. So at the time of CSS will be explained clearly what is the values for what is the values we can take. So if you give the two values, so if you give here, so here just give 50 pixels. Now we're taking this 60 and 50 here, right? So for this, see just remove this one. So here, so we just give the 50 pixels. Now look at this one. So if you give 60 and 50, so it will take 60 will take the top and bottom, 50 will take the right and left. So this value will take the right and left as a 50. First value it will take the top and bottom. Like this, it will take the padding and margins here. So we can also apply the padding and margin properties for the div elements. So not only this one, we can move the center, we can adjust this one using these margins also. So margins having the margin top, margin right, margin bottom, margin left. Like this, margins and paddings will be calculated. So here, open this Visual Studio. So here we're having this div. Like this, we can create the div elements here. So look at this one, we're having the div elements here. So I'm just open this Chrome here. So I just remove this one. So having the div here. So like this, we can create the div elements here. Now, this is a div element. So we can also take that, not only this border color, we just give the background color also. So using this div, we can create the number of like a number of sections. So like we can create this 50 sections. Like we can put the images, we can put the text. So we can use this. We can create a lot of services boxes. So we can create the layouts using the divs also. So most probably we can use the divs for creating the web pages. So don't use these tables here. So they only use the divs here. So here we just apply the background color. So just apply the background color. Here I'm taking background color. So I'm just crimson. So crimson. So we just refresh this one on the browser. So go to this browser and refresh this one. See, we having the red box here. So in this div elements, so in this div elements, So we use it here, display properties, the most important property we can use in the display. So why? Because we need to, so here I'm just open this. I'm just open this Notepad++. So here we use the display properties. So display properties. Display properties. So for this display properties, we need to display the block level elements to like a side by side manner, inline element. So here the display properties we have available like, so we have display properties like display inline, and we have display, so display inline block, and we have, so here we take the small letters only, and give capital letters. So the capital letters also not a problem, it is a case insensitive language, so we can use capital letters as well as small letters also, it will give the output. But bad way of practice is we're writing the capital letters, so I always use the small letters. So here I'm just writing the block level, so inline block. Next we have display, so display none here, display none here, display none inline, and we have last one display block. So we have display block here, display block here. So like this we can take the text here, like this we can take the display properties. This display properties, inline means inline, within the line. So what is the difference between inline and inline block is, so if you write the inline, so for the inline elements we can't set height and width for the inline. So while writing the inline property, it not allows you set height and width. So while writing the inline blocks, so inline blocks will apply, will will apply all that. So it will take the paddings, it will take the margins, it will take the height and width. So it will allows you that to set the paddings and margins, height and width. So whereas the inline, it won't allows you the height and width. We can apply the paddings and margins for the inlines. So here for the display none means, display none we can use for the JavaScript to hide the element. So it will remove the element space and entire element here. We can use the display none. We can hide the element using this display none. And display block is to, in order to change the inline elements to block level. So we can use the display block here. So I will show the example for creating this display block. So example for display block. So here, so we take an H1 here. So example for, so example for display block here. So for this block, so example for this display block. So here I'm taking the button elements. So how do you create the button elements means? So we can use the button tag. So we can create the button. So using this button tag, we can create the button element. So we just create the button here. So here I'm just creating the button. So here I'm just giving the class. So here I'm taking the class as pink button. So I'm taking the pink button, and I'll just take the one more class name. So here button is the inline element. So look at this one. So here I'm just changing to green here. Now, so we are taking the two buttons here. We just give, this is a pink button. So I'm taking the pink button. Now here I'm taking green button. So here I'm taking the green button, pink button and green button. Now we having the two buttons here. We just run this one on the browser. So here we just remove this div element. So example for display block here. So we just run this one on the browser. See, look at this one. See, look at this one. So they're having the buttons here. So look at this one. The buttons are arranged in the side by side manner. So like these two are inline elements. So here, so for these buttons, so we just apply the CSS for these buttons. So here I'm taking pink button. So pink button. So look at this one. So while writing the CSS, we can follow some CSS standards. So here we just use this comma separator. Comma separator. Why? Because I'm just using the same CSS for these two buttons. So instead of writing the so much of course, I just use this comma separator. So I'm just take here green. So I'm taking the green button. So here we just take green hyphen button. Now, so for this green button and the pink button, should apply the CSS here. So I just apply the padding. So padding. So here I'm taking the 10 pixels. Now I'm taking the 20 pixels. So this means that top and bottom it will take the 10 pixels, right and left it will take the 20 pixels. In the inner space, padding is inner space, right? So here I'm just taking the font size. So for the font size, we just give 20 pixels. 20 pixels here. Just we can apply the color for this one. So here we just apply the color for this one. So I'm taking the pink button. So for this pink button, we need to apply the pink color. So here I'm just applying a background. So for this background, we need to apply so deep pink. So I'm taking the pink color. Next we can apply the color for this button. So we just green button. We take the green button. For this green button, we should apply the background color. So background color. So here I'm just applying the green color. Now we just apply the green color. Go to this browser here and refresh this one. So there you get the two buttons here. So for this button, we just remove this border also. So for this border none, I'm just writing the border none, and I should write the color as just the color. I change this color to white here. I change this color to white here. Now refresh this one on the browser. See, they're having the two buttons here. Look at this one. The buttons are arranged in the inline manner. So we need to change these inlines to block level. So button is inline elements, right? Here we just write the button tag. So look at this one. I just write this display. So display block here. So display block. So if you have the display block here, just refresh this one. See, look at this one. It will be in the side by side manner. So it will change to this button as block level. The nature of this button is block level. If you want to see this block level, so just right click on this one. Just right click on this button. So the button will be selected here. So look at this one. So open this developer tools. So they're having, here is the option is there. They're having the console element source here. So look on this right side, we're having the styles and computed event listeners. So just click on this computer. So here we're having the values here, and you can type here. Just you can type this display value. So display. So look at this one. By default, it's a block level here. So I just remove this display here. I just remove the display property. Now we can refresh this one. We just refresh this elements. Snouches. It's by default inline block here. Okay, this one by default inline block here. So we can change this to block level. We can use the display block here. So in order to change this inline elements to block level, we can use the display block here. So here I'm just writing the none here. So if you want to write this none here, so none means it will remove this one, it will display, it will hide this one button here. We just cut this button and paste it in the green button here. We just paste it in the green button. Sorry. So we just paste it here. Now you can run this one on the browser. Just run this one on the browser. See, look at this one. It will hide the element here. So like this, we can use this display block here. So I just uncommented this one. So we didn't want this one. So next we have Next we have, so inline. What is the inline here? So example for inline. So I'm taking example for inline. So for this inline, so here I'm taking the UL tag. So inside of UL tag, ELI. These are the block level elements, right? So I'm taking anchor tag. So here I'm just write home. Just I will home component. I'm taking the home component. I just copy this one. Take it 2 more copies. So here we can write about us, about here, and we have contact us. We have contact. Now we can refresh on this browser. So look at this one. Just refresh on this browser. So they're having these elements here. Just increase the search. They're having list items. So these are the block level elements, right? So for this block level, we can change through inline here. So how can you write the inline here? So here I'm taking UL tag. So here we take UL. So first we need to remove this. First we need to remove the bullet symbols. For removing the bullet symbols, we know, right? List style type none here. You write none means, so go to this browser and refresh this one. So you look at this one, the dots will be gone. So it will remove the dots. Next we have LI. So in this list items, LI A. So here I'm just remove the decoration. So for this remove the decoration, we have text decoration. So we have text decoration none here. So is the text decoration none? We just refresh this one on the browser. So look at this one. So it will remove the text decoration none here. Look at this one. So here we just write UL-LI. This is a space selector. So we can call it as a descendant selector that will use it to select the space here. That means inside of UL, it will select all the child elements. So here we can write the display inline here. So if you write the display inline, so look at this one. If you refresh this one, so they're having the inline here. So we need to give gap here. So here we need to give the gap here. So we can write, so here padding. So we just write the padding here. So top 0, we don't want a 0, and we can give this left right, we need 30 pixels. So here we just refresh this one. See, now just created a home components, home, about us, contact us. So like this. So here I'm just trying this this inbind, we just try this width here. So we just try the width 300 pixels. Look at this one. So if you write this one, see there you get an error here. So look at this one. So if you hover on this one, see the property is ignored due to the display. Display inline, we can't set the width and height. So we can set the margins and paddings for the inline. Okay. So for this here, for this inline block, we can set the inline block, we can set the height and width for this one. So I just take the inline block here. So I'm taking the inline block. So here I'm just remove this padding. Now you can refresh this page. So look at this one. Just we can refresh this page. So they're having this inline block here. So here we can set the height and width. So we just display inline block. So here is our display inline block, right? So I'm setting the width for this one. So here I'm just setting the width. So I'm taking 150 pixels. So I'm taking the 150 pixels. Now you can run this one on the browser. So look at this one. So we can set this width and refresh this one. So look at this one, they're setting the width here. So like this, we can also set the height and height for this inline elements. And we can't set this height and width for this inline elements. We can set the width and height for this inline block elements. That is an example for display block and display inline and display inline block. That is the difference between inline block and block here. So here we use the display properties inside of this div elements. So inside of this div elements here. So using this div, so here just removing this one, we don't want this one. So here we just create a div element here. So we can, using this div, we can create a lot of things. We'll see in the next class. So here I'll show the one more example for this div. So here, like, so here I'm taking the div here, div. So inside of div, we can take this h1. So here h1 I'm taking this this is heading. This is heading. So I'm taking the paragraph. So in this paragraph, I'm taking this LoRa. I'm taking 50 words. I'm just taking the 50 words here. So here, for this div, we just take. So here I'm taking the width 500 pixels. So width I'm taking the 500 pixels. Height I'm taking 200 pixels. Or else you can take 250 pixels. So I'm taking the 250 pixels. Now, so here we can use the text align center, make this text to center here, center position. So we can use the text align center. Now you can refresh this one on the browser. So go to this browser and refresh this one. So you look at this one, they're having text here. So I pasted in the middle here. So here, look at this one. We have a text and place in the middle position. Just refresh this one. Now we'll just reduce this size here. Look at this one. They're having text and place it here. So here for this div, we just give the background color. So we just give the background color. So background color. So I'll just give the dark blue. So I'll just give the dark blue here. Look at this one. If you run this one on the browser, so there you got the dark blue here. So here we just give the here I'm just giving h1 comma paragraph. I'm taking color. So color I just give the white color. So white color. I just take the white color, and if you run this one on the browser, see there we get div here. For this div we can place the text here. So here we just give the padding also. Here I'm just giving the padding. So padding I'll just give 30 pixels, or I take the 40 pixels here. Now you can run this one on the browser. So look at this one. They are placing the div element. So after that we take in the this heading or text here. So we can also place the images also. So here we can place the images inside of this div using this image tag. So I'm taking this image tag. So image tag. So for this image tag we can write the src. So here I'm just taking the f1. So f1.png. So here is our image here. So I'm just write f1. So f1 png. If I take image, now I just give the alt tag here. So this is a flower. So flower here. I just refresh this one on the browser. So we can place this image here. So like this, we can also place images, text inside of div element. So here, the next chapter. So we will learn for the next chapter. So we will learn how to display, like how to create the service boxes and how to create a background images. So how to create the inner divs and how to create a flags using these divs. So in the next coming chapter, we will learn this all the topics using these div elements, right? So using this div, we can create the lot of web pages also. So a lot of web pages we can use to create these div elements only.